There's a quiet crisis unfolding in the West. Christian men who want marriage and family are finding themselves stranded, not because they lack ambition or they don't value commitment. It's that the dating landscape has shifted into something completely unrecognizable. For decades, the foundation was simple: church, community, shared values. Dating meant moving towards marriage. Today, dating in the West means endless apps, disposable connections, and a culture where the faith is optional at best and mocked at worst. The result is confusion and frustration. Men who want to honor God, build families, and lead with responsibility are being told directly or indirectly that what they're looking for doesn't exist anymore. That's the problem. And for many men, the solution they're exploring is truly radical: looking abroad. Let's start with the West. A lot of Christian men grow up hearing, just wait on God, the right woman will come along. But the reality looks different. Churches are smaller, the dating pool is shrinking year by year, and many women who do attend aren't necessarily looking for marriage and children. Some are just as caught up in casual dating or career as much as the outside culture. Meanwhile, step outside church and things get even harder. The dating landscape is dominated by hookup culture. Dating apps turn connection into a game, rewarding surface level attraction over overall substance and character. Looks, status, and charisma are rewarded instantly, while character, faith, and long term vision, these things barely register. Think about it. You can spend years building yourself up as a man of discipline, integrity, and purpose, and still get passed over in a culture that judges everyone by a 3-second swipe. This leaves Christian men in a true paradox. If they refuse to play the shallow game, they get sidelined. But if they compromise, they feel like they're betraying their values. Either way, they lose. So why look outside the West? Why do something so radical as look overseas for your future wife? First, the numbers. In many parts of the world, Christianity is truly growing. Churches are not shrinking, they're still vibrant. Worship services are full, and families raise children where faith is meant to be a part of their daily life. For men who feel invisible at home, that's a total breath of fresh air. Second, the culture. In places like Latin America, Asia, and Eastern Europe, marriage and family are seen as regular and very acceptable goals. Relationships are expected to move towards commitment and marriage. Dating isn't a revolving door, it's preparation for something that should be everlasting. Third, the respect for men of faith. In the West, being a Christian can sometimes feel like a total liability. Abroad, in the right places, it can feel like a strength. A man who prays, leads, and takes his faith seriously, that's something to be admired in these cultures. So it's not about finding different women. It's about finding a culture that values completely normal things like marriage, child rearing, and legacy. There are very real advantages for Christian men who pursue abroad relationships with wisdom. Number one, shared values. Faith is not an afterthought in these cultures. Women take Christianity seriously, not as a hobby, but a foundation to their very lives. The alignment makes the connection between you two smoother, as it feels like you're rowing in the same direction instead of going different ways. Number two is respect for commitment. In societies where marriage still carries a lot of weight, men who desire stability aren't mocked, they're actually respected. You're not seen as boring or old-fashioned for wanting to be a husband and father. You're seen as strong and capable. Number three, the fresh perspective. Dating abroad pulls you out of your old norms and routines. You're learning new customs, adapting to different expectations, developing impatience. This process matures you as a man. Number four, opportunity to lead. In these cultures, men are still expected to take the initiative. That doesn't mean domineering, it means leading with clarity, vision, and decisiveness. For men of faith, this role feels natural and very rewarding. There can be some disadvantages to dating abroad. That's why I put a 6-step course together in the description down below that can teach you how to budget for living abroad, the best practices when dating and finding faithful women, and overcoming challenges that are very common, such as loneliness. So check out that course in the description down below so you can fast track a way to living your best life abroad. Let's be honest, this path is certainly not a paradise. Number one is the language barrier. Relationships are built on communications, and even small miscommunications can escalate into something unintendedly greater. Nuance, tone, and emotion, these things don't translate as easily as you would think. Cultural differences, what looks like affection to you may be formality in another. What feels respectful to you might feel like distance to her. Misreading these signals can damage your trust if you're not careful. Distance and immigration. Falling in love across borders means paperworks, visas, and tough decisions on where to live and where to spend future Christmases. Those challenges put pressures on relationships that are already strained when they're stretched across cultures. Believe me, I've experienced it. And four is fantasy and idealization. Some men believe that every woman abroad is traditional, faithful, and family minded. That's a very dangerous myth. Human nature is the same no matter where you go. There are faithful women and unfaithful ones, wise and foolish choices no matter where you put yourself. If you go abroad chasing a fantasy, you'll be thoroughly disappointed. So, where does that exactly leave us? Dating abroad isn't an escape hatch or a magic solution to all your Western problems. What it does is shift the environment. It puts you in a context where your values might actually align with the broader culture, where faith still matters and marriage is still honored. But the man you are still determines everything. If you lack discipline, if you chase fantasy, if you can't leave yourself, you'll be just as poorly off abroad as you were at home. The point isn't to run from the West. The point is to become a man who can thrive anywhere, and then wisely choose where his values are most appreciated and respected. The Western Christian dating problem is real. Shrinking faith communities, a culture of disposability, and a hostility towards long-term relationships leaves many men marooned on an island. Dating abroad offers hope. It offers the chance to find communities where faith is alive, commitment is respected, and traditional values are upheld. But also comes with challenges: language, culture, distance, and the ever-looming threat of idealization. At the end of the day, the call is the same wherever you are. Build your life on faith, discipline, and purpose. That is inevitably what's going to attract the right partner. So if you're a Christian man wondering if it's time to look beyond your borders, just remember, going abroad won't solve all your problems, but it might put you in a place, an environment where your masculinity, Christ-led faith, and discipline can finally feel valued and respected. That's all I've got for this one. I'll see you guys in the next video.